Well, I think that what makes Guardian what it is we had patient money behind us. I started the company literally 42 years ago. This is way before recurring revenue was even thought of in the industry. Digital dialers, as we know today, to generate recurring revenue, were not even invented. But what we did was we installed alarms as typically contractors, where we made our money selling an alarm and installing it in a home. And what happened was that I thought recurring revenue in the form of service revenue, maintenance contracts, was something that had some longevity to it. I always thought, I worked for a guy a long time ago. This is getting sidetracked, but he sold potato chips. And I got a summer job with him, and he says, "You want a job where people buy and eat and buy and eat and buy and eat?" And I thought, even at a young age, I was 17 at that time, I like that concept, where people come back to you to buy things over and over and over again. So as I got into security systems, and I realized that you sell an alarm system, there's nothing else you could sell, but I sold a maintenance contract with it. And that first home I sold an alarm. I sold a $15 a month maintenance contract, where every 3 months I came back, I inspected the system, I changed the battery. These were dry cell batteries that don't even exist anymore. They weren't rechargeable. But it gave me a chance to go back and have a reason to be able to get a $15 a month charge. And that first job referred me to a second job, to a third job, to another neighbor, and I like the idea of recurring revenue, and started building my business around that. And then from that point, years down the road, digital dialers were invented, where people could communicate to a central station. Hence the alarm industry as we know it. And we were able to grow tremendous recurring revenue. Today we have over 350,000 accounts, and they all pay that monthly fee. And I think that concept worked out pretty well for us. Well, first of all, I like to think it's two reasons. Number one, we give really good customer service. I think for the most part, our customers are really happy with us. But the other reason is I want them they know from years ago that this dog bites when they take over an account. I mean, I've gone as far as spending $20,000 fighting trying to fight a company that took over an alarm contract of ours that was a valid contract. And I want them to know that if they do that, this dog's going to bite, and is it really worth taking over an account when I'm willing to spend stupid money to go out and prove that our contracts are valid? And I think that's part of the reason why too. I'll tell you, it's a really good question. I think that technology is moving so fast. The fortunate thing for our business is we are in a very, very difficult industry. To go out and find every one of these components are unique and difficult. It's finding leads. That's a business in itself. Being able to hire and retain and train salesmen is a business in itself. And then have them have closing ratios that make those numbers for all those components work efficiently is a business in itself. That's why companies like AT&T and the power companies and all the so-called big boys that get in this business think just because they're big they're going to make it work. Every one of them have failed, because in my opinion, there's ADT, which has a $190 million a year marketing budget, and then there's the entrepreneurs, and everybody in between is just in the abyss. They come and go. But if you're not a strong entrepreneur and you have a good way of recruiting and retaining good talent and replicating those efforts, they can't compete. The ADTs, there's no doubt that they're a formidable force, but anybody that has a $100 $80 million, $190 million, $200 million marketing budget, they are a formidable force. But I think that the guys like the Skylines and the Guardians, the entrepreneurial spirit that we bring to the table is a different type of formidable force that I think can compete with the ADTs in the world. Truthfully, that's probably the second and third of my priorities. What I look for most is somebody that is hungry and intelligent. And when I say hungry and intelligent, I really don't care about a degree. It's a bonus. Experience, probably a negative, because we have a different skill set we look for. We look for people that are hungry, that come from good family background, that'll fit our culture. Because when they come into our organization and they get to experience our culture, that's the place they want to stay. And when they have an opportunity to stay and replicate their efforts in the way that we have done so successfully with the business we built over the years, we have lifetimers. The thing I'm proudest of in my company is not the size of the company. Yes, we're the largest privately held company in the industry. Yes, we took it from a startup in my mother's basement to a $700 million company. But what I pride most is the longevity of our people. I mean, the first person I ever hired in the company is the president of the company. And I can tell you, I have an array of managers that have been with me 30 years. And to me, I'm proud of that. That's something to boast about. But looking for talent or experience, sometimes that's more of a challenge to be able to change that culture and the attitude that they might have come from into a long-term strategy that we have and a more of a family culture. I believe that when you can create a culture where people want to come to work, and it translates into a valuing customers as you value employees, and also I think this is one of the keys to our success, is that I have an open door policy. In my office, even though I don't really do a lot of the hiring anymore, but from the beginning I did, and all my managers have the same, they live by the same philosophy where anybody that works for them could come into their office, my office, even to this day. And I'll ask them one question. If there's a problem with the employees or a problem with the way they're handling things, I'll ask them one very simple thing. Did you try and work this out with your manager? And if they did work it out with their manager and they couldn't get anywhere, they're always welcome to come to my office. But I think everybody that works for us knows that if it eventually gets to me, I'm coming to them and asking them, why is it getting to me? Did you not treat them like you would want to be treated as an employee? And then that translates all the way down to the customers. I mean, if a customer, I'm still online. My cell phone is online. If a customer really wants to get in touch with me, they could find me. And if it gets to me, I'm gonna ask, why did this have to escalate to get to me? And I think everybody in the company works on that same philosophy, that, you know, if I can help this situation, if I can help this employee, if I can help this relationship be better than going south, work it out, or eventually they're going to have to answer for it. I realize that people are difficult, but the bottom line is I would rather have a customer that is irate, that comes to us to try and resolve a problem, than a customer that I never hear from. Because if they come to me because there's a problem and they need it resolved, there's no doubt in my mind we'll resolve it, and we'll have a customer that is a loyal customer at that point. It's the customers that you don't know or hear from that all of a sudden they're gone. You don't have an opportunity to save. So no, I think that as far as customer always right, no, let's face it, there are a lot of unreasonable people in the world. But I think if you're really good at what you do, you can make a customer feel like they got the best for their money and they're happy with the relationship they have with the company. Well, everybody knows about Skyline. Everybody knows about Edwin. Edwin he's the superstar, and I'll be honest with you. When I gave it a shot to contact Edwin, I gave it a long shot that I was going to be able to convert Edwin because, you know, he's one of the most notable dealers in the industry. He's charismatic. He's Edwin. Everybody knows Edwin. And but the day I met him, I realized that you know, our cultures really were more aligned than I ever realized. And I thought that if once we had a chance to talk, and I came out here to LA, and we met several times, and we realized that, hey, there's things that he's doing that with a little adjustment, a little advice from me, which he welcomed. You know, there's a lot of successful companies in the industry that sell a lot of systems, but the whole reason for being in this business, in any business, is to create wealth. And Edwin saw what I did in my business, and he realized that I think taking his strengths coupled with our strengths, he could benefit, and so could we. And it became not only a great business relationship, but a good friendship. Well, I'll tell you, I think I have a great culture at Guardian, but coming here on this trip, I learned so much from this relationship because, you know, we have a lot of people work for us, and we have a lot of meetings, and we have a lot of outings and a lot of opportunities to get to know each other. But Edwin took it to another level when I came here, and I not only saw the people that he knows and loves and works with close, but their families. I mean, he took it to another level. And because I'm a family man, I mean, I'm from a family of, you know, 6 brothers and sisters, and we're as close as they get. And he brought that same philosophy to the business. When I come here and I see all these young, you know, superstars with their wives and their children, it did 2 things. It brought the stress level down, but it brought the camaraderie up. I admire what he did here. It made me really feel like, I feel really fortunate he's thought enough of me to have me here with the families.